But yeah, it's really easy to get caught up in a funk, and like that's one of the things that like new streamers don't really get told about, you know what I mean? Because everybody gets told like the super motivational thing, like just do it, and like it's great the whole time, you're gonna have a blast. Like that is true, but at the same time, there's days where like, you know, you just start thinking about your channel too much, and like you start thinking about the numbers, and like even if you're not someone to really focus on that kind of stuff, it does like affect you sometimes, and sometimes way more than others.
I believe this is the 99th Stream Key podcast, which is pretty flippin' cool. I'm True Mama, for those of you that don't know me. GreenChord is a slacker and is on vacation yet again, so you're stuck with me, but that is quite all right. You all know my lovely co-host, Velly. Yes, you can't miss his beard. And then we have mshoboslayer with us, and we have MemoriiCard. Everybody say hello.
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 Hi.
All right, so let's jump into some Twitch news. So, how many of you know that Twitch launched an official Twitch Meetups portal? Yes, raise your hand, class. Thank you, thank you.
I wasn't sure how we were doing this, so.
Raise your hand, yeah. So you can now view Twitch events in your area straight on your Twitch dashboard, which is pretty nifty. Twitch did release a new feature this week, so there is a 90-second disconnect protection screen for technical difficulties. Cough, cough. Velly, you should make sure that you enable this.
It's done.
See? Yeah. So you can enable the disconnect protection feature located in the channel settings on your dashboard. That's pretty nifty. Now, affiliates with 25 or more subscriber points are eligible for a third tier 1 emote. You know that?
Mm-hmm.
You set that up yet?
Mm-hmm.
Affiliates and partners can now upload a 9-month sub badge, and partners can upload a 1.5-year badge. That's pretty nifty. Does that mean I get a new badge in everybody's channels? No.
Yeah, I really don't want to pay another artist to make another one, so I might just put a little baby face, because we've now carried our baby to term in my stream at 9 months.
Nice. I like that. That's actually kind of clever.
Yeah.
I like it. Twitch ads are now basically unblockable. So Twitch is inserting them directly into the stream itself. So no skipping ads. Sad face. Twitch Sings semifinals are starting today at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Everybody knows I love a good karaoke, so I probably will tune in and check it out. Oh, this is pretty nifty. So Google has released a new platform that is meant to bridge across devices. So it's really big for YouTube streamers because it's going to provide players with instant access to games, all while further integrating YouTube capture, streaming, and sharing. So you'll be able to launch at 4K. They're going to launch at 4K at 60 frames per second for playing games and sharing game streams. So you'll be able to join the streamer instantly via a browser with crowd play. And it'll give you the ability to send separate streams of gameplay directly to YouTube, which is pretty nifty. So I'll be interested to see how that plays out, how that actually does its thing.
Yeah,
really cool, though.
It looks really cool, and I think if you're more familiar or more active on a platform that allows you to multi-stream and stuff like that, I think that'll be something really cool to take more advantage on. Rather, I did notice, however, we do have 2 Veloc_TVs.
Yeah, we do.
Somebody just Snapchatted and informed me of this.
Poor mshoboslayer.
The channel is just like received mshoboslayer's channel, and it's just now one giant Veloc_TV.
I love it. I love it.
I would have never noticed. I would have just been like, okay.
Susie says, Vel, you look beautiful today. And handsome at the same time. Oh my God.
I love
multitasking.
We're just really good at this.
Yeah, we are. This is why Green asks me to come on, because I mean, let's face it, we're good. Lastly, Streamlabs bot is now cloud-based. So they claim that there's 2 benefits to that. So it's available to streamers who haven't made the switch to Streamlabs OBS yet. And it's also going to handle the CPU load on their servers to lighten the load on your CPU. Why are you laughing?
I can just tell that you don't know what you're talking about.
I
makes
do.
Me happy.
Central processing unit. So I do. I know what the Streamlabs bot is. You're rude.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, so that could be interesting too. I'm just really excited to watch the Twitch Sing semifinals. That's all I'm saying.
That will be cool. That definitely will be cool.
Yes, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So
I wonder if you can co-stream that. That would be interesting.
How would that work though? I feel like that's not possible.
I just stream it and I sing louder than they do. So
boom, done.
There you go.
See, there you go. There's the answers to all the questions. Do you guys have any news that you would like to share today?
I didn't see anything, to be honest.
Yeah, other than sorry, I'm a little.
I mean,
sick, so I've got a little.
The Twitch portal thing is pretty cool, though. And I was there at Twitch Chicago last year, and I'll probably be going again this year. And I'm excited. It was cool to see like the same venue and everything in that video. So
it's pretty nifty.
It is in Chicago, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so it's not like it's fully fleshed out as TwitchCon, but like, can you give a little more detail of like what goes on there?
It was basically just like a meet and greet of like you could just hang out with your community if they went to. There was a bunch of partner streamers there. They had like a photo booth. It wasn't anything like too crazy. This is next year is supposed to be a lot bigger, like a lot cooler. Apparently there'll be. I'm pretty sure they got the venue that has like gaming stations at it. Like last year was at a arcade bar, which was cool. But yeah, so I'm excited to see the difference between last year and this year now that it's an official like Twitch portal. So I'll be able to give more information about the upcoming one.
Yeah,
when it actually happens.
I know I personally was considering going out there just because it's, fairly close.
Right.
So might be a trip I have to plan.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it. It's a lot of fun, man.
I mean, maybe I can convince,
Do it.
Yeah, please.
Do it.
Crew to go. Highly doubt it, but, never know.
I mean,
maybe.
Just tell them that I'm going to be there and then they're sold. So,
Are they
kind of a big deal.
I'm not quite sure about that.
Oh,
I'm
my
not
God.
Sure. Green was already pretty closely convinced. I know, Susie. It's not Green that you have to convince. He is down for anything and everything. So that's that. Do we have any? Well, I guess now we can open it up and start taking some questions.
Yeah.
But in exciting news, in 7 days, Tru will be at Playthrough with 2 of the lovely faces that you see on the screen. mshoboslayer will be there with us, and Velok will be there with us. And
don't you mean Velok and Velok too?
Yes, I do. It should be
the
like
Velox.
Velok squared will be there. Yes. And we have some really cool things. Our 100th episode of Stream Key will be coming live from Playthrough, which is going to be pretty awesome. Be on the lookout for some giveaway details for the stream. We will be streaming the whole entire event, which is kind of nifty. Will be the official stream sponsor. Woo! I didn't mean that in like a sarcastic way. I meant it in like a we've got this really cool title.
Woo!
And I just punched the mic. Yeah, so there'll be a really cool giveaway. Will be some of our partnered streamers who will be coming with us are going to stream Not only some shoutcasting, but also some gameplay, which will be pretty nifty. You might just catch me playing a video game or two. You never know. But that's surprises for another time. What else is awesome? Oh, we have the huge True party, which is going to be pretty nifty. I'm sure there'll be tons of pictures of it. We're not going to stream it only because of the venue. So it won't be as cool as the TwitchCon party, but it'll still be pretty nifty. I'm kind of excited about it. I'm just excited about
more
the food.
Exclusive now.
Tacos and tequila. Yeah. That's all that matters. But yeah. Do you guys have anything exciting going on in your channels this week that everybody should check out?
I've been doing this thing called crowd control with Pokemon Red, which lets viewers like affect the game, and that's been really fun. Yeah, so I'm in Pallet Town, and then suddenly I get warped to like Cinnabar Island, and I'm like, thanks. I have nothing that can deal with this, but that's cool. And I'll be like battling a gym leader, and all of my Pokemon get frozen. That's fine. I didn't need to win this. Yeah, or like Victory Road. Like, yeah, I'm totally ready to go face the Elite Four. No biggie. So that was fun. I did that last night. I'm going to be doing that probably the next few days, and so yeah.
Yeah, that was really fun, actually. I popped in there for a little bit. It looks really fleshed out. I was really confused as to what you do if you get soft locked somewhere.
I don't know.
Gotcha. Okay.
You just embrace the suck, man.
You just kind of you go with the flow. I don't know. And it's kind of finicky though, because like the first like 2 hours was seriously like trial and error, like troubleshooting, and it was just like me being really sad and like yelling a lot, like I'm gonna break my computer because I'm so frustrated with this stupid thing. But it's pretty cool. So yeah,
I might have to look
fine.
into that.
Yeah. So if you need help, I might can help you, but I might not be the one to ask. But if you're a streamer, crowd control is pretty cool. They do support other games though. Dark Souls is one. I'm not brave enough for that yet, but. If you want some extra salt with your salt, you can check that out.
Wow. I might have to do the Dark Souls one.
That would be really cool. I feel like that is right up your alley.
Mm.
Oh, yeah. And Monday is my birthday. So hashtag shameless plug.
Wait, this Monday is your birthday?
Yeah, this coming Monday. Yeah.
That means that when you come to town, we can celebrate 2 birthdays in one.
Yes. I'm going to be 47.
Wow. I went to get my breakfast this morning. This is off topic. I went to get my breakfast this morning, and I was saying how old I was, and there was another man in there, and he was like, well, you're aging like wine. And I was like, sir, what does that mean? Like, some people hate wine. I don't like wine. So why would you tell me I age like wine? Is it like what does that mean?
He tried to hit on you, clearly.
But I was like, thanks. Aha.
Thanks, bye. Give me my food now, please. Can I have my breakfast burrito?
Right.
Okay,
That's
wasn't a breakfast burrito. Rude.
That's
Extra
when you
bacon,
say,
please.
no, actually, I age like cheese.
Yikes.
But some cheese when it ages,
I don't
it's
think
really
it's better.
stinky.
I don't think
Exactly.
it's better at all. Oh my god.
You just
Vlad says that.
troll and meme them.
Right?
Make fun of them. It's like, you're gonna try to hit on me, and then I'm gonna make you feel really weird. Like, I'm gonna make you regret saying anything to me. Like,
That's my theory with I know that this has been posted around, but that's my theory when people come at you with some conspiracy theory. They're like, the Earth is flat and they fake the moon landing, and you just look at them and you're like, you believe in the moon?
Oh my god.
That's great.
Yeah. So what's new with you, Vel? What's going on in the Vel stream?
Oh man, nothing really. It just got like a little like mental hump I'm trying to get over, but aside from that, just trolling a lot in video games, a lot more than I have recently. Like, I'm going back to like CS:GO days before I was a streamer, and just really, really being toxic. And it's it's just great. It's honestly amazing and super refreshing.
It's always a good feeling when you go from taking a game seriously to just completely not.
Yeah, when you try to stop making yourself happy and try making other people sad, it gets easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough.
Chad, don't forget to call in with any questions you have about your streams or anything like that. This is Phone In Friday, we're here to answer any questions that you might have. So feel free to call ahead.
Or send us a question, just tag us in chat, and we'll answer away. Don't be scared.
You're teaching them all the wrong things.
Oh my gosh. So how have your guys' streams been going, like mentally, everything? Like, I know for me, I've been having like the mental hump to try to get over it, where I'm just kind of like just in like a weird space right now, I guess. But how about you guys? What do you guys do to get through that kind of stuff? I guess is a better question.
Tweets about it, and it's almost weird because right around the same time I'm going through another one. It's
really?
Like the second big one this year, which is awful already. But I mean, I think it's just normal for everybody to go through those every now and then, especially people that are a little more prone to feeling heavily, I guess. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think that's the way I'm going to word that. Typically speaking, I don't know. I always get anxiety and I always feel bummed out for a while. And as soon as I press the live button, everybody shows me exactly why I shouldn't.
Right, exactly. But it's like the time offline is the worst part.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I haven't quite figured out the best strategy for it yet.
That's fair. How about you, mshoboslayer?
Honestly, I'm kind of the same. Like, I think that, like, I see chat talking about it right now. Like, it seems like a lot of people are just going through like this weird funk right now, and you know, it's like maybe the seasons, you know, because like the winter time is kind of like a weird space for a lot of people. And I think one of the problems is like the holidays and stuff kind of like funks up everybody's schedule. So as a streamer, I think that you're going to see a lot of like a little more inconsistencies with like your everything compared to the rest of the year. So like, and it's really hard not to get discouraged with stuff like that. Like, you know, as a streamer who's been doing this, you know, as long as I have, and you know, you guys, you know, do it pretty seriously too. Like, you know, you put so much heart and soul into it, and it can get kind of like depressing because you think to yourself, like, what am I doing wrong? You know,
exactly.
And, like, you know, a lot of people, because, you know, I'm partnered, and a lot of people are like, oh, well, you have no reason to be sad. You know, you've made it, you know, like, no,
just so easy to say that.
Oh yeah, like just because you know, you think that doesn't necessarily make it true. You know, like partners and affiliates and non, you know, just regular streamers, like everybody has their, and you know, so even partners and stuff, like we have like low points in our streams. So it's kind of like, and I think it's probably just like the time of year, because I think everybody's kind of like getting that weird like just I don't know, it's kind of weird. So it's kind of one of those things. And one of the things that I've really done to kind of help, and it's, some people will agree, some people won't, but like, you know, as a streamer, like everybody's like, oh, you know, social media engagement, interaction, it's so nice to just take a break for a little bit. And like the last few months, like I'll check Twitter, you know, I'll check Discord and stuff, but really, I don't really post that much anymore. Like I post when I have to, but like the last few months have just been really funky for me. So I found that it's really, really nice to just take a break from the phone, take a break from the internet, take a break from the computer, and just like, even if you don't do anything, just to like enjoy your time away from, you know, Twitter, like Twitter is so dramatic sometimes, and if you get caught up in it, you will go insane. So it's just really nice to sort of just put that stuff away and not think about it, and then when you come back to your own stream, it's kind of like a breath of fresh air, because you don't have to have all that crap, you know, clouding your thought process. So
I did kind of want to spring off that. I'm sure it's been talked about before, but it definitely hasn't while I've been on here. I think a lot of people look at that partner, like the check mark, and just assume you're at a certain point. Whereas once you get, you know, once you get more invested and have been doing it for a while, just as wide of a range as there is in affiliates, you know, whether the people get 1 sub and 3 views a stream to the people that have hundreds and hundreds of subs that just haven't been partnered yet. There's just as big and actually even a larger range of partners, you know what I mean, there are definitely a lot of benefits, but I think a lot of people see that and they're just like, oh, you're fine, nothing to worry about.
Right.
But, you know, it's really not any different than the struggle you feel on the way up there. You've just got a little bit of verification saying you've done the right things up until now, you know?
Right.
So,
yeah, it's one of those things where the grass is always greener, you know what I mean? But like when you actually get there and it's pretty much the exact same, but you just have more people, you know, obviously supporting you now. But yeah, it's really easy to get caught up in a funk. And like that's one of the things that like new streamers don't really get told about, you know what I mean? Because everybody gets told like this super motivational thing, like just do it and like it's great the whole time, you're gonna have a blast. Like that is true, but at the same time there's days where like, you know, you just start thinking about your channel too much and like you start thinking about the numbers, and like even if you're not someone to really focus on that kind of stuff, it does like affect you sometimes, and sometimes way more than others. And it's one of those things that just happens, and you just got to push through it. And it's just tough. It's really tough sometimes, for sure. But yeah, especially when someone starts saying that, you know, oh, you're a partner like that. Like I'm not a partner or anything like that, so I haven't been there, obviously. But I can imagine that I'd be a little upset if someone told me that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like, oh, well, how you're not having a funk. You don't have low points. I bet you're just like rolling in it. And it's like, no.
Well, you made it. You're rich now. Look at you.
It's like, I don't think so, girlfriend. I have to grind and work just as hard as everybody else.
Right.
You know.
Well, I've got a buddy of mine who's partnered that actually took a year and a half off and is just now getting back into it. He averages about the same amount of viewers and sub count, I mean, typically as I do. So it's, you know, there's all sorts of, everybody's at a different spot, basically.
Right.
So, you know, there's no, you know, title that's going to make you any more happy or less happy than anybody else.
Right.
We all feel the same things.
And also it's like what you want out of it mentally, you know what I mean? Like where do you want to get to? And like, are you seeing the progress that you want to get there as soon as you think you want to get there? Like there's so many factors that can come into play there. Like with me going full time this year, I don't have work to distract me, you know what I mean? And so I'm only streaming now. And if I'm not seeing the progress that I feel like I should be, it's super, super heartbreaking sometimes. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's one of those things that just eats at you if you give it enough time to think.
We do have our first question. Yes.
Mental health is, sorry, I was going to say mental health is one of those things that it's very easy for people to get carried away. So I'm sorry, chat.
No, but I think that all the points that you guys are making were very valid points. Like it's all things that everybody needs to remember, because it's so easy to, you know, get wrapped up in it all and completely forget to take the day to like regroup yourself and focus back on like what your goal and your objective is. So Just Panty asks, when starting a Discord server to pair with your stream, would you say it's beneficial to keep it smaller, such as fewer channels, a single general chat, possibly a rule and announcement channel? I've seen plenty of servers that seem sad and dead because they have so many channels but less than 100 users and no one is chatting anywhere other than the general chat.
I think it just kind of depends on like what exactly you want, like how you want to run your community. I think that it's probably better to start out small, and then if your server grows bigger and there's like a demand for different channels, like my personal channel, like I don't have like a ton of like rooms in it, but I probably have more than most, but I've had mine for a while, and I'm Discord partner now. So like I have enough to kind of, you know, have that many rooms. But again, I generally don't add rooms unless somebody makes a suggestion for it. So what I would do is just kind of start out with your basic. And then if you have a community that's like, hey, why don't you add like a room for console gaming? Because there's a few of us that would like to do that. And I'm like really OCD with like organization. So I don't like people to like post pictures and links and stuff in like general chats. So I'm like, no, you're gonna post it here. So it just kind of, you know, like don't just spam like all this crap. Like it drives me insane. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are like that. And like the True Discord's a lot like that too. So it just kind of, that's my opinion. Like it just kind of depends on like what your like goal is for like your Twitch community and your Discord server. So
Like for me, I started out with like one voice channel and one private voice channel for when I was streaming, and then I had general chat, and I think I had a channel for memes called Where the Memes At, and that's all I had until people started asking for more things. Like you definitely don't want to go into a channel and see that like nobody's talking in anything. Like that's not a good look, because then like if I go into a channel like that, I'm probably not going to be too curious about what's going on in that channel ever again. So, you know, start small and let it grow naturally when people ask for it, just like mshoboslayer was just saying, or Velok 2. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, that's definitely, I mean, I'm just going to kind of repeat the points already made. It's better to start small and grow. I kind of went on the other end and, you know, I made separate things for announcements, rules about the Discord, which I think are nice to have, but it does look like there's, you know, a lot of things to keep it organized, but then there's also a lot of them that don't get used except for once every couple days. Which is kind of a bummer, but I'm kind of in that position that the question was referring to. You know, I've only got like 40 people in mine, so a lot of them, you know, just every couple days I'll start sparking up, which is, I think, consistent enough to warrant having them, but probably shouldn't have if I didn't already have them.
Yeah, I can't imagine having to manage like all of that, like thinking about the True Discord and how huge, like we started it and it was like 3 channels and that's it, and like one gaming voice channel. There we go. Words today, chat. Words today. And then it's grown into like this massive thing, but it's all been just because of people suggesting like, okay, what about this channel? What about that channel? What about this channel?
Right. Yeah, Discords can be tricky. Like you definitely want to make sure you give out the right impression when you have people join your channel, because it is a reflection of you and your community. So if your community isn't talking in there, people are going to think that you don't have a community. So you definitely want to try to be as engaging in that as possible. Sorry, Katie's hard words are transferring over to me not being able to talk, so I apologize, chat. But so like when you guys started out your channels, like what were your thoughts when you were first starting them out for your Discords?
Well, okay, when I first started mine, I always have and still do have the policy. My Twitter DMs are always open and I answer all of them. It may not always be right away, but I always get to them. But it just got to the point where it was, I don't know. I was just looking for a better way to communicate with all the people that, you know, wanted to communicate. And especially when people were asking for, you know, what advice I'm able to give or anything like that, I thought it would be really good to put it all in one location.
Right.
And I think it's a little less intimidating to hang out in a Discord server and just ask things generally to a lot of people than it is to go out of your way to DM me on a platform. So.
Right. Twitter DMs can get kind of crazy sometimes. Like, I'd rather just have it all in Discord if possible, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's where the origin of mine came from, at least.
Yeah. Social media in general is kind of like tricky to get a hold of as far as like all platforms and everything.
All of them are good for certain things.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like people don't use them to their full abilities sometimes. Like for me, I'm trying to get better about posting on Twitter more than just, hey, I'm live now. You know what I mean? Like trying to get more like engaging and stuff like that. Like that kind of stuff is really crucial when it comes to social media. Discord's really easy though. It's a really easy one to just talk to your community when you're offline. It's super useful, and I feel like enough streamers don't really use it effectively, because like going into a dead channel is literally the worst. It's so terrible. I hate it so much, and like I feel like we could almost do an entire show about how to Discord properly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey,
there's definitely a lot of them too. I've joined into a couple as well that just haven't had anything at all done to them. They're just like the one chat and the one voice chat that like it starts with. And, you know, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with them, but there is a certain level of professionalism you want to give off in your server as well. Make it look like you didn't just press create server today, name it, and call it good. Yeah,
you don't want to half-ass anything that's connected to your channel.
No.
Unless your entire channel is half-assed, and if that's your thing, do it up. You know what I mean? But
if you can get that niche going, teach me how, please.
Yeah, right.
Just
how to not put everything into Twitch.
Just Panny follows up with that and says, so start small and treat Discord modularly. I can't speak.
Yeah, I would say so. Like you just want to start out with just the basics that you think your community will enjoy. You don't want to go too far, and if there's things that you're not sure that will have traction, just wait for people to start asking about them. I didn't have a channel for food pictures until probably a year after I had my channel, and people wanted that. So yeah.
Mr. Pure Instinct asks. I just said
asks.
Asks.
Wow.
To piggyback on this question, if you have channels that may only be relevant to some times of the year, should you remove them when that time is over? Example, I have a football channel because I love football and have others in the community that like to talk about football. Should I remove that when the season ends?
I would keep it open because anything like there's always like trades and stuff going on. There's always weird off-season things that happen. I would keep that open. You know what I mean? It might not be active all the time, but I think people will understand if it's not active during the off-season, unless, you know, a player gets traded to a different team and it's, you know, kind of controversial or something like that. Then I would see that channel start acting up again. You know what I mean?
For that one specifically, I don't see why you couldn't just rename that channel off-season during the off-season.
Yeah.
You can keep it going that way, you know, and then just talk about, like you said, you know, trades, injuries, whatever kind of happens during, between season. I mean, in that example specifically, that's all I could really tell you. I don't really know very many other examples of what would be like a seasonal Discord server.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody had any other ideas, you know, feel free to throw them in the chat. So, because I'm just not really sure that I can come up with any other ideas that might fall under that.
Well, we're going to need you to.
Well, I mean, I guess there could be like a bracket like channel as far as like basketball, but I guess that would be another like sports related kind of thing.
Right.
Which would then just fall into another like off season.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about those kind of things too much. You just don't want to create a channel and then have nobody even start talking in there. You know what I mean? Like if people haven't talked in there since the Super Bowl, people aren't going to care too much because they're going to understand. But if you have general chat and nobody's talking in it, that's an issue. that's a big issue for sure.
So then is it worth it to just close out the channel? Because then then it turns into you've got tons of open channels with nobody chatting in them.
Yeah, I mean, if there's literally nothing going on and it's not like an off-season kind of thing, like a football-specific channel, I would definitely get rid of them because you want to have a good first impression on any new community members. You don't want people thinking that you don't have a community. It's just that your community hasn't transferred over to your Discord the way you want to yet, and you're still trying to implement ways to get people to go in there. It took me a while before I got people to actively start chatting in my Discord. So it just takes time with everything on Twitch and everything with being a streamer. It all just you just have to implement things well and bring your community over the right way.
I think it's also worth mentioning if it's something that's specifically like definitely going to come back and become active, like football or something like that. I don't think there's much reason to adjust it at all. But if it's something that you think it's better to just cut your losses and, you know, get rid of or incorporate it into something else, you know, you can definitely do that. On the topic of growing Discords, maybe we can kind of springboard off that. What kind of strategies have you guys used to get people more active or incentivize them more to come in there?
Talk in there all the time, especially at first, like to get people like to you want to get people actively checking the Discord in the morning or anytime during their day. So I mean, they're in that Discord for you, the streamer. So the more you can talk and chat in there, the more people will want to be in there and hang out, because I mean, you're the reason that they're there in the first place. If you're not ever in your own Discord, nobody's gonna be there.
Right. I've seen a few, my own included, where you kind of I have a couple channels that allow people to kind of self-advertise. For instance, you know, obviously, if that's the only thing that somebody's doing in the Discord, nobody's going to go out and support them because that's just the way networking works. But I think that's a good incentive for people to get in there. I also have a fully fledged Pokemon game in my Discord server that I think is awesome. It'll, you know, anytime somebody talks, it'll randomly have a chance to generate a wild Pokemon, and the first person that types that Pokemon's name correctly catches it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's little things like that that I think are awesome. So those are my strategies so far.
How about you, mshoboslayer?
Like what?
As far as growing your Discord.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we're doing a podcast right now? Oh my god. We're live? Oh.
Where
I thought
am
we were just
I?
hanging out.
Where am I? What day is it? No, I was like, wait, are we talking about like Discord like games, like chatbots? Because I have PokeChord too. Yeah, I mean, I probably have like you know, like a lot of people have, like I have your typical like, well, I post like announcements, and I do have like a, you know, advertise yourself, like your streams, but I have mine locked down to where you can't post your link unless you're level 2 with the Me6 bot. So people actually have to chat and actually, you know, be social before they can actually, you know, try to hey, come watch me, even though I don't care anything about you people. You know, it's like
That's
you know,
very cool.
We all know people like that, and it's like, you know, you can play your games, but nobody is going to come watch you because you're all about taking and not giving. And people aren't stupid. You know, especially those who actually, you know how all this works. Like, if you're all about self-gain and you don't want to actually network with people are going to see through your bullcrap. And if they don't see through your bullcrap, they're probably just bullcrap too. So, you know, the moochers,
politically correct.
The moochers will stick together, and the real people, they see through it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things where like you can definitely see like the people who show up in a channel and they leave right after like they talk about their channel, and then like the other people that do the exact same thing are hanging out with those same people. It's like moochers definitely stick to moochers for sure.
Yeah.
We have a question from Mortanis TV. Decisions you make early decisions you make early on can affect your long-term career, and nothing sucks more than getting deep into things and finding out little decisions early on are hard to correct later on. So my question is, what is the best type to choose for a starter in Pokemon?
That I did not expect that at all. I like that. That was a good question.
Like whole question and then left turn. What generation are we talking?
That is not what I was thinking. It was like, wow,
I need more information.
He's like taking this question seriously. We're just laughing it off right now. Oh my god. Oh, that hat. Okay. All right. He did it. He brought the hat out.
I generally always go fire top, sometimes grass. Yeah. But yeah, I'm one of those that's like, yep, Charmander. You know, let me suffer through the first 2 gyms, but I don't care because Charizard.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good. You need 3 copies of every game. So like in the original games, you could get your Charizard, your Squirtle, and then your second Charizard. You know, or Charmander rather, but yeah. So personally, I always go fire type. Yeah, there we go. Exactly.
We do have a caller that would like to join us on the show if you guys are ready for that.
I guess.
If we have to.
Vlad, are you there with us?
Oh my god.
Do we have a Vlad?
Hello, everybody.
No, we do.
Hello.
What is up?
How are you?
My god.
I am fantastic. How are you guys?
It's Friday.
Better now, dude.
Fabulous. Fabulous Friday. New name. Fabulous
Friday.
Phone-In Friday. Done.
Yeah.
Renaming the podcast.
I like it.
What you got for us today?
So I was wondering, I'm currently saving up for a gaming PC, and I was wondering if did you guys save up and get all of your components all at once, or did you, throughout time, get each component for the gaming PC and then build it?
When I did mine, I had every intention to buy parts as Twitch paychecks. Oh, am I talking? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, yes. I can hear you.
Yes.
Did I go there? Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Hold on.
Hey, this is when we need that technical difficulties.
Yeah, right.
Screen, right?
Can you hear me now, Mr. Vlad? I'll just skip on this question. It's fine.
It's all because you tried to answer, Val.
Yeah, I shouldn't have done it, man. But I guess I guess I'll answer and chat can listen. But when I bought my PC parts, I had every intention on paying by month. As soon as the Twitch paychecks came in, and I got way too greedy and just bought them all on the spot. And yeah, so it's definitely smart to pay for them separately for sure, because you can wait for deals and everything. But just don't get too caught up in researching all the parts that you want, because as soon as you see them as you're already buying other parts, you're like, what's an extra however much this one costs? Like, it's not a big deal. I'm already spending too much money. Why not? It's not the way to do it at all.
No, and I do think it's worth mentioning that at a lot of different places, I think there's a couple of Reddits out there for it as well. There's deals that go on separate, components and everything. As those pop up, I think it's definitely beneficial to take full advantage of them. If you are somebody that can build a PC, otherwise, there's some deals that pop up periodically for pre-builds that aren't too terrible. So, there's I think. Sure, I think. All right, on to you.
Okay, so when I first started streaming, way back, I started streaming on a laptop. I played RuneScape in the corner of my room in the dark on a laptop. So I was not rocking the latest and the greatest. And eventually I was like, I might want to play something besides RuneScape and Minecraft. So I actually just went all out and built my entire PC. And then over the years, though, things kind of, get a little aged, and the, newer games come out, you can't really keep up with it. So, I built my tower, the whole thing. And then over time, I've just slowly upgraded parts as needed. So I guess it just kind of depends on what you want to do. Like, if you have a machine already that works, I'd probably just kind of get parts here and there to build a new machine. But if you need one like right now, like you have like nothing, or the thing that you're using right now is about to like die on you, or it just absolutely cannot do what you want to do, maybe just go ahead and get the whole thing. It just kind of depends on what you can afford and what you really want to do.
I think it's definitely worth mentioning as well that when I first got started, I think I was able to stream 60 FPS 1080p on, I think it was a GTX 960 and an i3 processor of some variety. I forget the exact setup. So, I mean, obviously you're not going to be able to do much else while you're streaming, but you can make less than top of the line equipment work.
Right. Yeah, it just kind of depends. Like, you have to, see what you have and then really work with that. You can't expect to play, max settings on something like that. You have to kind of to work with it. Don't expect to play like the latest and greatest on something that can't handle it and then get upset. It's like, look, this is what I have. I have to understand what it's capable of.
Well, and especially because you were talking about how you used to stream RuneScape and Minecraft. You don't necessarily need a beast of a computer for either of those.
Right,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, definitely look into what your goals are and what you need as well. Don't just buy a $4,000 computer because you want a $4,000 computer.
Right.
Does that help you out at all, Vlad? Do you have any further questions about it? You can't hear me. Never mind. Doesn't matter.
I'm hoping he's hearing us through the stream on a little bit of a delay. Okay, good. We got the thumbs up.
No other questions.
Awesome.
Okay, so I think that means he's all good.
I think so.
All right.
Thank
He's signing off
for
now.
joining us.
Thank you.
Oh man. I feel like people do spend too much money on PCs though. Especially for a brand new streamer. One of the things that you see a lot is that people spend too much money on the best everything. Like they have the fancy lights, and they'll have the green screen and the best computer, the best cameras that they can, and it doesn't matter because they don't have any viewers yet because they literally just started.
Yeah, that's something that I've talked about before on some of the podcasts I've been on. you know, like what advice would you give new streamers? It's like, do not go crazy. Like you get like a Logitech C920, like you can catch those on sale for like $40 on Amazon. Blue Snowball, Blue Yeti, you know, they're decent. They get you. I mean, I use a Blue Yeti. I mean, I know that's, you know, a lot of people have crazy audio setups, but it's like when you're first starting out, just get what you know will get you by. Or I mean, like, you know, the C920 and the Blue Yeti or even Blue Snowball. I know a lot of people who use Blue Snowball, and they're pretty decent. Like, there's no need to spend like your life savings on this like godly machine and all this equipment when you might stream for 2 weeks and say, oh man, I'm so mad that I'm not ninja yet, so I'm gonna just quit and I spent all this money. Like, you can't think like that, because it's just I don't know. I've seen so many people like, well, I bought all this stuff and nobody's watching me, so I'm like really mad right now, and I don't understand because my quality is awesome and all these other people look like crap and they got more viewers than me. It's like, you know, they've probably been doing this a little bit longer, or they might be a little bit more entertaining than you.
Yeah,
I don't know. But
I've had 4 different people probably in the last 2 months that I've there's like something I'm not in on, and I'm a little upset about.
We're having a little technical.
Are we just reading the chat on straight? Okay, cool. Anyway, I think I've told probably 3 or 4 people just in this last month that if you're looking for a capture card or an Elgato, there's no reason to go buy one new anymore, because of how many hundreds and hundreds of people pretty much everywhere decide they want to be a YouTuber or streamer and give up in the first 3 months. You can find those used basically perfect condition anywhere if you're just getting into setting up a stream setup.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. I mean, there are a ton of people who throw so much money at it and then give up, and then you can benefit from their failure, I guess.
I think I still have one of those really old school standard definition Dazzle capture cards from back in the day laying around somewhere when I first decided I wanted to be a Call of Duty trick shotter. Yikes. Anyway.
We do have another question. What?
There we go. Okay. That was for a different reason.
Jeez, what are you doing over there? Were you farting?
Hey. Yeah, that's what I was doing. Yeah. No, I've fine-tuned this to where you guys can't hear that. Okay, calm down.
Definitely not Vince asks, what are your thoughts on Google's new game streaming service, specifically the feature that allows you to generate a link for people to join in on the exact moment of the game you are in?
It's another stream service that isn't Twitch, so it depends on what they do with it. In my opinion, the only other stream service that really has made an impact is Mixer, and even that, like, I think it's cool. I think it's great that somebody's giving Twitch some competition, but I still don't think it's anything for Twitch to worry about too much. You know what I mean? Like, I still think Twitch is the top streaming service. So it depends. If they start making some good moves like Mixer has, then I'll start considering even like thinking about it. I'm never gonna switch. I don't want you guys to think that, but there's so many other streaming services out there, and like so many of them that I don't pay any attention to, just because it's pretty much only Twitch and then Mixer, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely say on that topic, it looks like we kind of got away from whatever they intended to ask us, or what it is. However, I would say that, yeah, you're right. At the stage Mixer's at right now, or any other streaming platform, I don't think they really have too much to worry about yet over at Twitch. I say yet because who knows, you know, if Mixer keeps growing how it is, then there will eventually be some issues. But for the time being, I mean, there's
okay. Is it not a streaming service? Am I wrong on that?
No, it is. Now. It is, because remember I told you it's...
we literally had people in the chat saying that they think I'm confused.
It's a platform. It's a platform. Huh?
Oh, I was saying Stupler just said in the chat, yeah, to my understanding, what a big part of it is that you can stream games to any of multiple devices. Like play games through the cloud-based streaming.
Right. From what I understand, it's basically like Netflix, but with but for games. Like you stream the games, and like the streaming part, like Twitch streaming is like I think probably YouTube. Like you'll be able to live stream to YouTube, and they'll be able to join through that. But like it's a console, and it's like Netflix with games. So I think that's what it's supposed to be.
Well, that
See, this is what happens when we don't thoroughly review all the topics before going into the podcast.
I've watched a few like review things about the Stadia. So like a lot of people are kind of complaining that there's not like a ton of like information out for it. Like I was watching like one guy reviewing it, like the announcement of it, they didn't really tell you what you like the required internet specs were for it and like the price for it. And so a lot of people are kind of like weirded out, like why wouldn't you include this like when you like make a big announcement and say that it's going to be released in 2019. But I really haven't looked too deep into it, but I'm fairly familiar with like what it is. So
from the bits and pieces I've caught here and there, I mean, it sounds really cool, but I'm hesitant because so does everything else that gets announced as some kind of new huge innovation. And I don't know all the ins and outs of it. I'm, definitely not engineering any of that software, but I don't see a scenario where there's next to no input lag for games, such as an FPS game or something like that. I would find it difficult to play games like that if there's any sort of delay whatsoever streaming the game and then with your inputs and everything. So that's my real big concern about it. Like I said, it looks really cool. I've seen advertisements for other services recently here and there where they're like, no matter what computer you have, you can play this game at this resolution on it through this streaming service. So it'll be interesting to see Google's take on it for sure. But I'm always hesitant with big, air quote, innovations being announced like this.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about it in the chat. Like everybody seems to be
25 megabits per second for 1080p 60 FPS.
I guess what confused me was the video that they released showed a lot of streaming, like a lot of like a streamer on the actual screen and everything like that. Like that's what threw me off quite a bit because like I maybe they just didn't. Maybe I wasn't paying enough attention to the video. I don't know, but
the first video did imply that there'd be a lot of connectivity and interaction with other people on it. So we see that,
Right.
Well, do your homework for next week, and then you can report back. There you go. Don't forget, we are taking callers, and we all are taking questions. Just be sure to tag us in the chat, and we'll get your question rolling.
Nope.
I was vibing with you.
I have to be like the designated hater of this podcast. I'm sorry.
I am just partaking in the Twitch Sings competition, just without being in the competition.
Is that still like beta access only? When does that like fully roll out to everybody? The whole Twitch Sings thing.
I believe it still is in beta. So, a funny story, at TwitchCon, I signed up to be in the beta, and guess what? They denied me. Kind of salty about that. Just saying.
That makes two of us.
I was so mad. I was like, yeah. And they were like, denied. Rude.
I will punch them for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm really scary. I'm 6'7".
Okay.
So.
6'7".
And apparently, like in your 40s,
47.
Monday, and she's
40 Monday.
Monday. Sorry, my bad.
Monday.
To anybody listening to this on Spotify, they're going to be really scared of you.
Yeah, they should be. Okay, I'm like 350 pounds of pure muscle, 6'7", and I'll be 47 on Monday.
Some of those hobos are kind of scrappy. How do you think she slays them?
So anyway. Actually, Meemaw says that they've closed the beta invites now, so you have to wait, I guess, for the full release of it.
Darn.
Well, I'm still waiting to be a real adult, so I'm used to it.
I'm kind of mad that Susie got in and I didn't.
Oh my God.
Love you, Susie. You know,
Susie, I'm glad you got in. Okay. All right.
I'm glad you got in because at least one of us can enjoy it. But man. I was really looking forward to it. Like, I mean, I did it at TwitchCon. Like, we were jamming. Vince wouldn't sing with us, but the rest of us were like vibing. I have picture proof. Remind me to show you a playthrough. I have picture proof of this.
So I didn't even. I was there with you guys, but didn't know you guys.
That's
I didn't even bother. Yeah. I didn't even bother to apply for the beta because I was like, I value everybody's ears a little more than that.
I don't know if you heard Vince just come out of the room and he yelled, it was a train wreck. It kind of was. Vince was creepily in the corner taking pictures of us. Like, it was great. It was a grand old time.
That's awesome.
Oh, man.
So I feel like we get this question pretty much every other one of these streams, but we did get asked how we feel about the rise of the lurk for lurk and follow for follow channels.
Uh-oh. You sparked something.
So I was actually talking to Maticus about that last night. Like, I've been having a lot of people lately. Like, I've had this person come like the last like 2 or 3 times like in my stream, and I have like a lurk command. Because like I'm super like, because I have a lot of lurkers, because I really promote like, because I've been on a podcast on here for like mental health, so it's like do what you're comfortable with, and I'm really awkward and have really bad anxiety, so I understand that it might take a little bit for somebody to warm up to talk to a streamer, or you know, a lot of people multitask, so I'm always like, hey, pressured to talk unless you just absolutely want to, you know, just chill with me. I appreciate you being here, but you know, if you want to talk, cool. But if you don't, like, I'm not gonna like call you out. Like, I know some people get all mad and like, oh, like, I can't believe these people don't want to talk to me. You know, it's just like, you know what? You should be thankful that people are even showing up. Like, they're there, right. You know, if they want to talk to you, they'll talk to you. You know, you're not entitled for anybody to even be there. Like, just be thankful that anybody's giving you any sort of attention. But anyways, like, I have a lurk command, and I think a lot of people probably do. And I've had this person, like, pop up, and they're like, command lurk. And I'm like, oh, thanks. Appreciate you. You know, thanks for chilling with me. And then they're like, L4L, smiley face. And then I'm like, yeah, listen here, Holmes. I appreciate you being here, but you're not going to get that from me. So, you know, you can lurk here if you want to, but I'm not going to lurk in your channel because I don't do that. And then they just disappeared. I'm like, okay. But they come back and do it again. I'm like, did you not hear me the first time? Because I'll repeat it. Like, I get really sassy with them, and they probably don't hear me. You know, like, lurk for lurk. I'm going to go say that to the next 5 people I have on my list. Like, they probably go through the directories and this one's up there pretty high, so maybe I'll get lucky and they'll raid me after. But it's just like, oh, people actually sit and talk to somebody and you might have a better luck. But yeah, so honestly, I get annoyed.
When it comes to like asking for lurk or follow for follow, you might as well just be asking for them to follow your channel or lurk in your channel with you doing nothing in return anyway. You know what I mean? It's still going to be a no. Like, you might as well ask me to like come and hang out and spend money in your channel instead of being like, hey, lurk for lurk. Like, I'm still going to tell you the exact same answer because I don't want any part of that ever. I don't.
Yeah. I also have a command in my my chat for it. All it does is pop up and just says a little, hey, you're helping me out, thank you, kind of thing. I used to put it in my title, and I did. I had a lot of people come through all the time, you know, L for L, all that kind of, and it's just not going to happen. I'm at any given time, I'm at my computer. I'm in 3+ streams, whether actively or lurking for people I enjoy supporting. But I don't sit here and I'm not going to inflate your numbers, and I hope that you wouldn't do that for mine if you don't actually want to support what I'm doing.
Right.
And I think a lot of people fall into the trap. I mean, a ton of people do, but I think a lot of people fall into the mindset of everybody tells me not to do this, but not enough people tell me why. They just say empty followers are worthless, this and that, which they are. But like, I don't think people really grasp like how bad it looks if you go to a channel that's got 30,000 followers and 10 viewers. Like, that's obviously an extreme example, but it just doesn't, it's not a good look.
Right.
It really isn't to people, to sponsors, to anything like that, really. I mean, the concurrent viewer number is the metric that matters on Twitch.
Right. If you want like a channel that looks good on a first impression, you'll do everything organically, as much as you can organically. and some like it still might not even work out as much as you want it to, and it's going to take a long time. But that's how you learn, is like you're forced to push yourself to be better when you're not given anything. And I think it's huge. And
like another thing that people don't realize is, you know, you can apply for Twitch partnership even if you have like the 75 viewer requirement, and then you can still get denied. And what people don't realize is Twitch is smart. You know, like they see your stats and stuff. So if you have like 200 viewers and one chatter, they see your chat stats. You know, they can tell that something's off. So if you're like, oh, well, I had like 300 viewers and I got denied partnership, like, if you're doing it like this, like lurk for lurk stuff, they can see that. Like, they're not stupid, and like there's like active chatter stats and stuff for a reason. Like, you can see that stuff and they see that stuff. People, I don't know, like they try to cheat the system. It's like, you do realize that they know, like they're not
they work here. Like
I don't know if you think that you're some like, I don't know.
You specifically have found the one way to trick them into giving you partnership. Like, no.
Like, congratulations, you figured something out that a million other people haven't already tried.
Right.
Wow. It's like, I don't know. I just need to be quiet because I would be really mean.
And I don't know how much weight this holds, but at one point somebody told me that there's 4 people for North America that handle the partner reviews, or the partner applications, which, if that's not true, I'm sure it is some kind of smaller team. So they say that doesn't hurt you, but I almost think it's shooting yourself in the foot if you apply and get rejected based on something like artificial viewers. And, whether you want to consider lurked viewers artificial or not, they're no different than going to any site and paying for a view bot. It's
right.
The same concept, and Twitch views it almost the same. One's technically against terms of service, but neither of them are going to get you anywhere.
Right. And like, honestly, regardless of like whether you make it like organically or if you make it by like cheating the system or whatever, like, do you want to look back and like say that like I did this and like I did this the real way and it took a lot of time and effort and I put a lot of like passion into this? Or do you want to be like, oh, I did a lot of lurk for lurks and that was cool? You know what I mean? Like,
how are you supposed to genuinely appreciate a follower when you have so many thousands that aren't real, that you've just been handed?
Exactly. Right. And like, it's another thing, like when you do that, like those people aren't going to actually support you. Like, everybody's dream, or most people, like when you get into streaming and stuff in a serious way, is you want to, eventually make this like a job. You want to do this as like kind of like a career thing. So if you're having like a gajillion, people lurking, they're not going to sub to you. They're not going to cheer bits. They're not going to, do anything. So you're going to have all, you're going to make partner, and then you're going to, if somebody does sub and you, have like 2 emotes because you've only ever unlocked that amount of emote slots, people are going to be like, this doesn't really add up. Like, that's another thing that people, like, even if you do get partnership doing that, like, you're not actually going to be able to make a living with it. You're not going to be able to actually, like, I don't know. People don't think about stuff like that. Like, they think, oh, well, I've got that check mark. That's all I need. I'm going to be making all that money. Like, you actually have to have, like, invested people to be able to actually do anything with it. And people don't realize that. They're like, numbers equal money. Like, no, those people actually have to like your content to support you.
If you have all these viewers that don't actually care about being there, like that aren't talking your channel or anything, like you just have free viewers, and like you're not trying to like figure out how to be a better streamer, you're not trying to figure out how to be more engaging or anything. Like, for someone that tries so hard to be a streamer, like they understand that it's difficult and you need to try to always be pushing to be better and be more entertaining and be more engaging and everything. But if you're given everything, what do you have to work for? You know what I mean? Like, like you're here, like it all just came so easy. I can just sit here and play video games, and every once in a while somebody might talk and I'll talk to them, and that's how Twitch goes. You know what I mean? And now the money rolls in.
Right.
Yeah, I think on a smaller scale, people do that so consistently for affiliate, which I can see. The requirements are so low, it's almost handed to you if you just put in a couple months of work. You know what I mean? And if you do all these fake things, it's given to you faster. So understand the desire to do something like that, but we've said it so many times here. The concept of being able to technically make money doesn't mean you will make money. Mm-hmm. Which, again, actually one of the topics that was kind of big, we had a larger streamer just recently, Nick Merckx, tweet out about you know, how everybody gets caught up about money when in all actuality, if you grow organically and do it properly, that will be the, you know, maybe not the last thing, furthest thing from your mind, but like it will just come. You're not going to have to stress about it, or, you know, I don't know how to word it properly, but I think you guys understand what I'm trying to get out here.
Yeah, if you focus on the right things, on making a channel that works and makes sense, and if you focus on being as entertaining as possible, people will show up eventually. People will follow eventually. People will sub eventually, and then obviously that eventually leads to more and more money. And you might not ever make like a crap ton of money to where like you're loaded, but focusing on money at the beginning is just a way to get burnt out, or to just be really, really unorganically a larger streamer, and it shows.
Right. Mima has a question. She says, how important is YouTube to each of your channels? Good question.
Me personally, I don't really do a ton with YouTube. I really want to try to do more, but like what we were talking about earlier, like I've been in like a weird funk where like I just, you know, I do my Twitch stuff, and I just really don't want to put, you know, any more effort into outside things right now, because I don't want to overload myself. But the little I do with YouTube is I do a lot of like clip compilations. Like I'm very thankful that I have good friends who, you know, have editing experience in software, because I mean, I can a little, but I'm not good at editing videos. So like I have good mods and stuff that will mark like clips and download my clips and like edit them together into like clip compilations. And I try to put those up here and there, but I'm not very consistent with it. But I know a lot of streamers who are very religious with like how often they upload like highlights, clip compilations, like sometimes like whole streams. So I guess it just kind of depends. Like me personally, I'm just too lazy. If you just want me to be completely honest. Like that's just like I do good to stream on Twitch right now, because it's just like so overwhelming with all the crap I do at the moment. So I just don't want to overwhelm myself. But I don't know, like if you want to put forth the effort, some people see some really good feedback from it. But me personally, I haven't really seen a ton. But my YouTube's not very bumping right now. Like I think I have like 500 or so subs on YouTube, so it's not near what my Twitch channel is, but I haven't really focused. So I mean, if you want to put forth the effort, I mean, cool, but if you don't, yeah, it ain't too bumping. Yeah. Yeah, it ain't too popular.
I'll let you take this next, because I've actually got a good amount to say about this.
Okay. For me, I've done a little bit of YouTube. I have like 2 videos up or something like that. I'm trying to get more into it. But I do think it's super useful if you can consistently put out videos, as far as like videos that are good specifically for YouTube. You don't want to just upload your stream directly to YouTube or anything like that, just because there's going to be so much downtime in those videos that people aren't going to want to stick around for the whole thing. So if you can make like a quality video that works well for new viewers, like new people to come and watch your videos that haven't seen your Twitch before, and also videos for your community to go and see when you're not streaming, I think that'd be super beneficial. Like if you can upload those consistently, I think it's a huge benefit. It's just, it takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
Okay. So my YouTube experience is a little bit different. I did YouTube for years and years before I ever even considered streaming. I think I had 9,000 subs on YouTube before I even made my Twitch channel. I mentioned it earlier. It's back from the Call of Duty days, back when that franchise was going up, not down. And, you know, I did the sniper montages and whatnot. But I actually used it as a really, really good springboard to get into Twitch. And, you know, the people that saw those montages got to come out and see that I'm actually terrible for the most part. I just get a couple nice clips here and there. But I think it can be a super useful tool to introduce new people, and even to give people that maybe couldn't come out to your stream the opportunity to watch it back, because nobody likes to sit on Twitch and watch VODs. So if you cut it up in interesting moments, I think think it could be really cool. Part of my rebrand that I went through recently was so that I could play more story-driven games or retro games or stuff that I just enjoy more so. And so recently I have been taking 20 to 30 minute segments of the Final Fantasy X playthrough I'm doing right now and uploading that. There's not a lot of downtime in it. Normally when I'm talking to people, it is while I'm actively doing something on the game. So I think in that example, it's not too terrible, but it's not the ideal way to do it. If you can manage it, it's a great way to grow both platforms. And if you are one of those people that really, really values how much income you're making, it's a nice way to double dip on your own content. So...
we have a question from Silent Cart Awful. I think that's how you spell it, or how you spell it, how you say it. I'm sorry if I butchered it. I mean, I tried, chat. Do you have any advice for growing a channel with 10 p.m. plus time slots or later? 10 p.m. or later.
Do your research. Really look at like what game you want to play, and then kind of, things like Selenium, really, really handy to look at like stats and stuff for games. Mm-hmm. So just sort of kind of like, I want to play this game, but this is, wow, I can't talk. what are words? Just research. Like, if the game you want to play isn't really that popular at that time slot, maybe look into something else that might be kind of similar. Just kind of, don't expect that you're gonna like just blow up like that. Like late nights are kind of odd. So, like I used to do like late night streaming, and it was very difficult for me to really do much. Except when I was playing Minecraft. Okay, yes. I think almost everybody, maybe not you guys, but I think everybody's had like that like weird like super Minecraft phase. But I used to be like really super into Minecraft. And like Minecraft does really well late night, but there's just like so many like different people around the world that watch that. So I think like you have to keep in mind like different time zones too. And it seems like different like countries are into like different games, and Minecraft just appeals to like so many different people. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Like it's I don't know. I'm bad with words.
I would say that, I mean, honestly, like I'm not too good at like the nighttime streaming. Just starting to get back into it. For me, morning streams are way easier just because I'm very awake and I'm very energetic and active and lively during the mornings. And so I like to kind of be like that little burst of energy to help people kind of start their day out. So nighttime would be total, like, especially starting at 10 p.m. That would be a totally different like game from what I'm used to. So I would just try to say something like, I mean, you gotta own that time slot somehow, and you have to know what audience you want to stream to, whether it's an American audience that's probably getting ready for bed, or if you want to go for like a European audience that's like early in the morning. Kind of think of what you want to do and just own that. You know what I mean? Like my morning streams, I've designated as the coffee streams. So I like to start people's day off and help them, get through their day at work if they're able to lurk in my channel at all. And so just kind of realize what audience you're streaming to, especially that late at night.
Right.
I think you hit the nail on the head. Self-awareness is kind of the biggest thing on it, and just kind of owning it. If that's what you're going to do, then you've got to commit to it and let everybody know that that's what you're doing. I think there are positives and negatives to less people being on Twitch at that time as a whole. Positive being, if you have a general community that comes out, you're going to rank higher on the browse list and discovery on Twitch, which is horrible to get found in to begin with. But negatives, obviously, being there are less overall people you could be exposed to. I don't think that there's any particularly better or worse time slots. I think you're kind of competing with how many people want to watch your game at that time, as well as who else streams that game around that time. So I think those are kind of some things to consider. But I don't really know that one would be better than the other necessarily.
Right. It all just depends on what kind of streamer you are and what kind of personality you have. Like, and like I said, like knowing who you're streaming to for sure. So do your research and kind of play around with streaming at 10 p.m. and see the kind of audience that you get, and ask them questions, ask them what they're doing right now, and just kind of go off of that.
Yeah. Just to touch again, like you said, the type of streamer you are. If you go live at 10 p.m., for people in the US and you're screaming, nobody's going to watch that. Or not nobody, but less likely, you know.
Right.
If you draw in people with that kind of that kind of stream persona, I guess it would be more the European crowd that you'd be looking for, who are starting their days. Definitely not the people ending it.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry to hear that, Susie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, but I hope that answered your question, Kartoffel. I think it's Kartoffel, right? Yeah. So I hope that answered your question for you, man. It is difficult streaming that late, and yeah, it's just a weird time, especially EST. But hopefully, you can capture some of the West Coasters and maybe some people in other countries and other time zones. But I definitely feel your pain there. Good question, though.
That was a good question.
So, like, when you guys created your streaming schedule, what does that sound? Is that a Decepticon or something?
I think so.
You guys hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They found me.
They found me. We gotta go. But
I thought I was hearing things. I literally didn't know what it was, but I thought that I was going nuts.
That little shuffle, right? That's what we're talking about? The little shuffle and the kind of high pitch for a second?
I don't know what it was, but
it sounded like a whoa,
yeah, like War of the Worlds is happening right now, dude.
Game over.
Yeah. We gotta go. It was a great podcast. We're all gonna die. But what I was saying was, when you guys created your schedule, did you take any of that into account? Like, you know, what audience you were streaming to, or was it more of just like it worked out with your current schedule at the time with your job or whatever it was?
Yeah. So my schedule has evolved a lot over time. Like I was just saying, like I used to stream like really super late. And then, like, I've always been more of, like, an afternoon, like, to late night streamer. I can't do those. Like, Velog here, mad respect to the man. Woo, I'm not a morning person. Like, you guys are doing good to get me on here. Like, normally I'm not even awake yet. Okay, I'm just being honest here.
Let's talk about that real quick, because Green was like, how did you get Miss Hobo to agree to come on that early in the morning? And I said, because I'm good.
You're just that good. See, you guys are special.
Right.
Yeah, see how lucky you are?
I feel so lucky right now.
So if you ever need to talk me into doing anything, you'll have to do it. Just tell Green that, tell him, you don't have the power.
I got the power.
But yeah, my schedule has, I just, and I've worked retail a lot. Like, I used to be a manager at a pet store.
Mm-hmm.
So, when I worked there, it was really difficult to keep a super consistent schedule, because anybody who's worked retail knows that you generally never have a set schedule. Like, one week you might be opening, and then the next week you might be closing, and then, all in between. So, and being a manager, you're like, I have to make sure everything's done. So some nights, if we had all these crazy kids who decided they wanted to stick their face on the aquariums and smudge their faces on it, that would take extra time to get out of the store. If you came in my pet store like that, I'd be like, listen here, kid. Really, the adults were the worst ones half the time. Oh my gosh. And the ones who are like, oh my gosh, a chinchilla, can I pet it? And I'm like, well, and then I go in this whole spiel of they're not super easy to take care of. They require all this stuff. Oh yeah, we don't really want to buy it. We just want to pet it. It's like, yeah, we don't get them out unless you're looking to buy. And they're like, oh, I just really wanted to touch it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. No.
Well, you can't, so.
Sorry. I can't let you do that, little high school girl. You have to go to the other pet store. Yeah, they didn't like to go in there when I was the manager of the day, because I wasn't. I'm like, this ain't no petting zoo. Does that say petting zoo out there? It do not. This shirt.
It do not.
It do not. This shirt do not say petting zoo. It say name of store I used to work at. Yeah. But
anyway, weird name for a store. I don't.
Yeah,
that's weird.
Yeah, petting zoo.
That's all of my last jobs.
It's like, can I not read? Because this doesn't say petting zoo. I mean, I don't know, you tell me. But yeah, so it's kind of hard. Like when you work a job like that, you just kind of have to make the best of it. And one of those things, like I've said a million times, is consistency is so important to really grow. I mean, some people get away with like, hey, I'm just going to randomly stream whenever I want and make it. And generally the only people who that really works for are like really big established people, like big YouTubers or like big esports people. They can get away with that stuff because they have like a huge following. But like if you're starting out on Twitch and you don't really have like this big following anywhere else, you really have to set a schedule that, people know where you're going to be at what time. And so I used to stream at like 10 p.m. like Central Time till whenever I decided that I wanted to sleep. And then I started at like 8 because like the pet store, if I closed, we would close at 8. And it took me about 30 minutes or so to make sure everything was cleaned and make sure all the part-timers, like they mopped right or didn't leave pee spots on the floor or whatever from the dogs who would pee in the floor or whatever, pet store rant, like those people. If you guys ever take your pets in a pet store and your dog pees or poops on the floor, don't walk away. Just tell us, okay? Just tell us and we'll clean it up. Don't just pretend like, oh, I'm just gonna leave that. Like
that was there when we got here.
Yeah, I don't know whose dog did that. Only dog that's been in the store. It's like, just tell us. Don't let it get all crusty or dry on the floor. Don't do it, okay? Just don't do it. But yeah, no, it's bad. But yeah, but now some of you know this, but like I've been streaming full time. Well, I don't really stream like full time hours, but I'll get into that in a minute. But I start at 6 and go to about 10 because I like to have like a little bit of time to stay up and not do anything in the middle of the night because I don't sleep at night.
You get up at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah,
right?
I'm a night owl that just sits there and watches The Office way too much. That's all I do. If you guys ever want to know what I do outside of stream, I just watch The Office way too much. That's all. That's all I get. All I'm good for. So if you ever need Office quotes, I probably know all of them.
Every of the Office quotes.
Every other time. I can't talk because I'm getting way too ahead of myself. And I'm like off on this rant of scheduling. But anyways, you got me talking about pet store stuff, and I have like so many weird pet store stories. But I'm not going to do that to you guys.
Right,
we don't have all the time. Next week on pet store stories. But I'll short and sweet here.
45 minutes later, short and sweet time. Okay,
short
all right.
Sweet. So about the pet store. But yeah, just kind of find something that works for you. If you work at a pet store, it hinders that. But no. Why did I get on this one?
I don't feel bad anymore about how much I talk.
Okay. I'm just here to make everybody laugh with my awkwardness. I get nervous, okay? I just get really nervous.
I love it.
She says short and sweet. 30 minutes after she...
I keep talking. But yeah, no, schedules. Just do make a schedule.
Actual short and sweet. I used to manage restaurants. I worked I streamed whenever I could. Once I got a core audience, I gauged when they wanted to. They were able to come out. I made my schedule around that. The end.
Oh my god.
There you go. That's totally gonna help everybody. You know how to be a professional strummer now.
Because of pet store stories.
Yep,
yes.
Pet store
I don't
stories.
remember how many minutes I had to clip, but if somebody could clip that, that'd be great.
Pet store stories.
Oh my god.
A caller that would like to join in to us. So
yes, please.
Let me get him in here. Give me 1 second, chat.
Wait, back up. Is it about a pet store?
My eyes are watering.
It has to be.
It can't be. We're tapped out.
Mr. Pure Instinct, are you with us?
Hello?
Oh,
hello.
Hello? Why don't I have a camera? Okay, I guess I don't have a camera today for some reason. But
do we have his camera?
No, we don't.
Huh?
Can somebody get this man a camera?
Hold, please.
I think
He says it's you, not us.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, there
Okay,
you go.
I had to turn it off and back on again. Okay, so we're gonna piggyback off of schedules just a little bit more because schedules are fun to talk about.
Like, you see somebody else work at a pet store?
I don't work at a pet store, but I worked retail for like almost 7 or 8 years. So I feel your pain.
You know the struggle.
Yeah, people are the worst.
Yeah.
So if you guys are gonna change up your schedule, how long should you try out that schedule change before you compare it to how the old schedule was working out in terms of viewership, engagement with those viewers, and everything like that? I tried a split schedule and it doesn't work for me. I already know that just because I don't get enough rest, which is fine. So now I'm looking at, do I go back to what I was doing before, which was working okay, but not amazing, or maybe shift it a few hours later and see how kind of catching a little bit of the evening, maybe people getting off work, having dinner type of schedule would work out. And if you do that, how long do you think you should test it before you either go back or reevaluate? I
think the first thing you should worry about is, do you appreciate your new schedule more? Like, do you feel better as a streamer? Do you feel like you're more energetic on stream if that's your thing? If you feel like you're more lively and if you're putting on a better stream, then that should mean more than a lot of other things do. So take that into account. And if you feel like the same, then you can start looking deeper into the numbers and everything. And if they don't change, like if you don't start to like not see any growth, even after like maybe I would say like a month or two, like that's when I would start looking at like maybe a different schedule.
Okay.
What's got you wanting to switch schedules? Is it for you wanting to stream yourself at that time, or is it more growth route, or what are you looking to accomplish by it, I guess is what I would ask.
I guess it's kind of like what Veli just said is, after a month or two, if you're not seeing a big change or growth or anything, maybe that's when to reevaluate. And maybe it's just because I'm at a point where I just feel really stagnant, but I don't feel like we're seeing a lot of growth. So I'm trying to find a way to better, I guess, like maximize my time when I am streaming. I took one day off per week now, which is Fridays, so I can do other stuff. If I need to edit videos, I can try to actually spend time watching streams and do things that you should be doing off of Twitch instead of a whole other day of streaming. So I'm just trying to make sure that the time that I am spending live is the best that it can be.
Yeah. I think one of the important things to note is just, communicate that to the people that are regularly coming out. But I think it's definitely natural to want to test out a bunch of new things, whether it be a refresh on your brand, whether it be time changing or anything like that when you feel stagnant. I think, just about a month is probably what I would say as well, time-wise. Let everybody know a week or two before the schedule change and then just give it a shot for a few weeks. My schedule's horrible. I've been doing that stream whenever I want to thing, and it is not the way to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's a fair number. I think a month would not alienate your old viewers if they can't make it out in that time range, ideally, and give you a good enough opportunity to test the waters there.
Right. And kind of the one that I'm looking at right now is what I was doing was 10 a.m. to 4 or 5 p.m. around that time frame. And what I'm thinking about now is instead of what I did was I tried 12 to 4 p.m. and then 8 to midnight, and it sucked. Yeah. I just didn't. I had a break between the two to take some time to myself. But after my stream, I was still real hyped up. So I would stay up till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and then get no sleep. And I was just well, this is awful. So
hey, I know that life.
Yeah. And so now I'm thinking maybe trying something more around 12 to 7 o'clock, maybe 1 to 7 p.m. and kind of, because that way it's not going to completely cut out my regular people, but it'll start we start to kind of pick up in the afternoons. I notice on some days. So that could be bringing in those newer people as well as catering to the people who have been around the whole time.
Why don't you just stream from 8 a.m. until midnight every day and see what your peak hours are?
Yeah,
there you go.
I mean, that's obviously
there you go.
That's like we said, just do that for a
whole month.
Yeah, you know what? Forget the rest of my question. That's it. That's it right there. 7 days a week.
Problem solved.
Why did you even get on here and ask?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
The answer right there.
I'm sorry I interrupted the pet story into this terrible topic.
No, but no, like I pretty much agree with what everybody said here. You know, just kind of find what works for you and for like your already established audience. But like the thing about schedules is you have to find something that works for you too, because if you're not feeling it, you're not gonna be your best self on stream. So, you know, if you're kind of like tired or not really awake, because I mean, some of us couldn't do morning streams, okay? But like you have to be your best self for people to be interested in your stream. So, you have to just kind of, even if a time schedule might work for like growing viewer wise, it's not going to work if it doesn't work for you too. Absolutely. So you kind of have to find that happy balance between the two.
Mm-hmm. So. Makes sense. Yeah, I just wanted to see, how long you guys would recommend trying it out before scrapping it or going back to the drawing board. So
yeah, I think a month, like everybody said, would probably be pretty solid, because anything less than that might be not enough to really see any difference, and then anything might be too much. Might get you burnt out on it.
Yeah. How in advance do you think it's good to communicate that that's going to be changing? Should it be like a month in advance? We're going to be like, hey guys, just so you know, next month we're testing this. Or could it be, the week before, say, just so you know, next week we're starting up this schedule and we're going to see how it goes?
Honestly,
I've done, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Honestly, I've done multiple, and I feel like there's still somehow always people that don't understand, like that don't like remember the new schedule, like no matter how far into the new schedule you are or how far back like you like warned them. But I would say at the minimum I would do a week, and at the max I'd probably do like maybe 3 weeks to a month, and like just like say it as often as possible so that like people are like annoyed by how much you say it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty much agree with what he said. And like they're like the panels, like the extension panels, like I use one that has like a schedule on it, and I always try to remind people, like, hey, if you're new here, or hey, if you're not familiar, please check down below, because there's a panel down there that gives you the schedule, and it's a countdown schedule. So, I used to have just a plain panel that gave like, the times when I was streaming, and people just can't seem to read for some reason. So like when you have numbers that change, it kind of helps them. So I highly suggest those.
Yeah, I don't think there's I don't really know that there's a too long in advance you could communicate it. Obviously, I think a really good way to sprinkle that in and to continuously update people about it is to make that announcement. But then, for instance, like in Discord, if you're saying you're going live, I would also just say, hey, but starting this day, this Monday stream will be at this time instead, or something like that. I think Vel hit it perfectly, where, just keep communicating it. Obviously, there's going to be some people that slip through the cracks there, but it's at that point, it's definitely not on you.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and I think no matter which way I go, I know that there's a chance that we could lose someone or gain people, and that's why I was kind of trying to stick with a close time frame, but still be shifted enough to maybe make a difference. You're getting those evening hours, which is, I always start to see that little bit of an uptick at the end. And I'm like, well, crap. Well, the stream's about to end, and I've been doing this since, all day, and I'm over it.
Right.
So that's why it kind of clicks, like, maybe we should be, the nighttime when used to people would sit down and watch TV with their dinner. Now it's Twitch.
Right. And it's kind of like, sometimes it's not necessarily a schedule change. It's just a schedule like adjustment, just like an edit. Because like I recently kind of did something similar. Like I used to stream like 6 to 10, which I think earlier I was talking about how like I started streaming at 6. I actually changed and added 2 more hours to the beginning, because I like doing more like the afternoon versus like late at night. And so, you know, you could take a little from the beginning of your stream, you know, like start later and then just go later. That way it's like kind of the same amount of time. So you're not really putting forth, you know, more time, but you know, that timing might be a little better, since you said that you see the pickup more towards the end, so you're not as tired because you haven't been on there as long.
Right. That's kind of what I was thinking. And it makes sense that way too.
Yeah.
I always see that too. Around typically around 2.5, 3 hours into my stream, I'll see it pick up really bad, and I'm like, or like a really good amount, obviously not bad, but then I'll just feel horrible where I'm just like in the back of my mind, like, oh, I've only got this much time left live.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I always run into.
Some of those like higher view counts that you can see at the end of the stream might not even be just people that are just hopping onto Twitch. They could have been on Twitch all day, you know what I mean? So like making that adjustment to match that might not do anything, because maybe they'll just start showing up earlier during your stream now. You know what I mean? Like maybe they just found your stream and, you know, they just happen to catch the end of it. I feel like a lot of people go through that. I feel like a lot of streamers see that pretty commonly. It's like sometimes towards the end of a stream is like when you see like the highest numbers. So definitely kind of think about it that way. Like you might not necessarily have to change as much as you think you do. It might just be new people finding you. You know what I mean?
Right. Makes sense. Well, cool. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, man. Good question. You.
Yep. I'll get out of here so we can learn more about pet stores.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
See you,
new meme.
Oh, the pet stores.
Oh boy. Me and my mouth.
We do have a question from Kartoffel. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. He asks, to sort of back off my last question, should you try to cater to your fellow streamers who you're teamed up with and try to stream while they're streaming, or just not worry about overlap?
Oh, what was that? Is someone dying? I heard
someone doing power lifts. Do you have a power lifter in the office today?
No, it's not from the office.
No, that one was me. I have no idea. There's a TV or something just turned on, and
like a really buff cat or something.
There's a reason I'm in here. I can't leave.
I might
in my hallway.
What was the question?
I'm scared.
Sorry, yeah, I need a refresher on that too.
The question. To sort of back off my last question, should you try to cater to your fellow streamers who you're teamed up with and try not to stream while they're streaming, or just not worry about overlap?
I think like a happy balance. You know, with Twitch, like networking and working with other streamers is a really big part of it. But, you know, you also have to worry about yourself and doing your own thing. So, you know, it just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like a difficult question to answer sometimes, because I don't feel like there's really like a super right way to answer that, because it's kind of finicky. It just kind of depends on what you want to do. Like me personally, there's so many people like I like to watch and, you know, like to hang out with, but because of my own schedule, it's kind of difficult sometimes. So sometimes I only catch them for like an hour or two, you know, for whatever reason. But, you know, you have to worry about yourself. But generally, you know, other streamers, if they're, you know, understanding, they get that. You know, if they're not selfish, they understand, like, look, you got to do your own thing. Like, we'll catch up when we can. But, you know, most people aren't going to be super upset, like, you never come watch me stream because you're streaming yourself. You know, I know some people are probably like that, but for the most part, I think most people get it. So that's just, I think, kind of a personal choice, like what you want to do. If you just really want to watch somebody, you know, kind of work around that. But if, you know, you're just worried, like, they're going to get upset with you about it, just kind of like, I don't know. If that person's going to get upset at you for doing your own thing, then they got more problems,
right?
Than that. Like, I don't know. There's no helping them, I guess. there's bigger problems to have than that.
in kind of like a rude way, you're not going to get anywhere on Twitch by worrying about other people's thoughts about when you're streaming. You know what
exactly.
I mean? You're not gonna get any growth if you're caring too much about other things. Like, put in the effort to when you think you should be streaming and what you should be doing. And, you know, just think about the right things. Don't worry so much about other people's opinions of you or anything, even if they are friends. If they're a friend and they're going to be like that, like Hobo said, like, don't even worry about them. It's not worth your time. Worry about yourself, do your thing, and do whatever you think is best for your channel. It's not to say like you need to just like cut corners and like mooch off of everybody that you can because it's good for your channel, but you know, like you don't want to just totally envelop your entire stream around when somebody else's stream is, because theirs might start taking off at the time that maybe you were supposed to be streaming then too. You know what I mean? Like, what could have happened? So just worry about yourself, and your friends will still be your friends. And yeah, it's the best advice that I can give.
Yeah, I think as far as a friend and like a mutual connection, like streamer kind of way, you guys have definitely hit the nail on the head. I actually had a fairly recent ex-significant other that would also stream, and we actually found it very beneficial to stream at the same time. So then we both knocked it out, and you know, would end it at the same time and then be good there. I know that's a little bit of a different circumstance, but ultimately, if somebody's going to complain about your stream schedule because it overlaps with theirs or whatever, then I don't care, man. You shouldn't. There's no reason to worry about people like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Good question, though.
That was. We do have a caller who would like to join us. Let me, do the things here real quick. Things are hard. Things are hard. Let's see.
That's what she said.
Wow. Wow.
I was thinking it. I wasn't going to be the one to say
it. We just need them to accept my friend request.
Anyway, we're professional here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
My life is just the office. I do have a Dundee back there. You probably can't see it because all the random crap I have on my desk.
I would have noticed if you could see it. Trust me.
Hold on. I got you. Let me move all this random crap.
Yeah, all the other stuff doesn't matter. There it is. Yep.
My Dundee. I'm just gonna hold this, okay?
For anybody who hasn't seen The Office, you need to, so you can be cool like us.
Yep.
Steamer, let's try this again.
You got a question? A caller?
Yeah,
you got a caller or no?
We got a caller. Yeah.
I don't remember you saying that. I'm sorry.
Somebody wants to ask a question.
Ask a question about a pet store.
Listen. Stop being mean to me. Okay?
Yeah, that's definitely natural. There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, yeah.
As long as you're caught up on that, that's,
yeah. It's one of those things, like we've all gone through it. Like it's tough seeing any friends get better numbers or anything than you do, but at the end of the day, just try to be as happy as you can for them and realize that it's time to step your shit up. You know what I mean? Like, I've had to do that so many times where like I have friends that are crushing me in numbers, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess I got to do better. I got to get good or something, because I can't just sit here and wallow in my own sorrow. You know what I mean? It's just not healthy to think like that.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's also worth thinking this way, not to sit there and try to mooch off your friends, but the closer friends you are, if they do better, you know, you can get some networking in there. You know what I'm saying? But no, yeah. I mean, as long as you're overall feeling positive for them, it's natural to feel like that a little bit and get into those days.
Yeah, like that's something that, like, it's really hard not to get like discouraged, and like I try not to really get jealous, but you know, I do find myself kind of like getting kind of like bummed out, I guess. Like, it's not like any negative feeling toward like my friends or anything, but it's like, wow, like that's nice, you know, kind of one of those things. But if anything, I try to let it be more of a motivation, like, you know, they're doing really well, and I know I can too, kind of type thing. So
we've got Steamer in here with us now. He finally accepted my friend request. So
real fast, Steamer. Is it about a pet store?
No, it's not about a pet store.
Sorry. All right, proceed.
So I'm kind of new to everything streaming, really, and I've been binge listening to the Stream Key podcast, and I just finished 79, which is the one where Snoop talks about moving from Twitch to Mixer. And if you get past the part where he's kind of really driving the point home, Mixer is better than Twitch. There's some good stuff in there, and specifically my question's related to becoming an affiliate. So if you guys were to back up in time and have the opportunity to become affiliate, is that like an automatic thing? Like, yes, I'm definitely going to do it. Or do you have thoughts on why it might make sense to wait or hold off on that?
I had no question. Like when I had the opportunity, I definitely signed up for it. It all depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to stream to multiple services at the same time, then you're not going to want to be an affiliate. If you don't want the subs for whatever reason, you don't want to be an affiliate. There's really not too many downsides that I can think of. But for me, I mean, I knew streaming on Twitch only was the thing that I was interested in doing. And so I agreed to all their terms and signed up to be an affiliate.
Yeah, I do think there are a lot of good things about Mixer, and they do have a lot of, I mean, whether it just be their compensation for their streamers or, other things, they do have a lot of really good things about them over there. But I think that as soon as I hit affiliate, I actually threw a whole big thing about it. I did a 24-hour straight stream. Looking back now, affiliate's not as big of a deal as I made it out to be at the time, but I didn't have any second guesses about going into it. Mixer's nice, but as of right now, Twitch is where the people are. Mm-hmm. And that's what my goal was. My goal was to eventually grow. So, I was more willing to fight my way up through the people that are already here than jump ship and try to get a smaller piece than what I think I can eventually earn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, I was super stoked when the affiliate program came out, and so I jumped at it, as soon as it was available. I signed up, but they've said it just kind of depends on like what you want to do. If you want to do the like restream, I think is what most people use to stream to multiple platforms. Keep in mind, if you do sign to be a Twitch affiliate, you can't do that. So it just, again, it exactly what they've already said. Like, it just kind of depends on what your goals are as a content creator. And there's nothing wrong with like not being a Twitch affiliate. But a lot of people want that, for the perks with it. But it's not, don't think that once you get Twitch affiliate that you're just going to be like, you're going to blow up with popularity, or you're going to, get like 1 million subs or whatever. That still takes a lot of time and effort. Like, the affiliate program is pretty easy to get, honestly. Like the requirements are pretty low, so most people can get it fairly easy. But just because you get it doesn't mean that you're gonna just be rolling in money. So it just, again, like I keep repeating myself, but it really just depends on what your goals are as a content creator.
Yeah, I hope we kind of hit on what you were looking to get out of that. And did we kind of give you what you were looking for as an answer there?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sour to it. It just seems like there's a lot of people talking about. Maybe it's more about it not being an end-all be-all kind of a thing. But as a follow-up question, if you knew you were getting close to that point, is there anything like you wish you had done to get prepared for that? That switch to flip?
I wish somebody had been a lot more real with me. I wish I had somebody to talk to me about. I guess it's a good thing, and you should definitely be proud of hitting that objective. But I think especially the first time you do it, I've rebranded a few times and gone through it multiple times, but it looks like this huge milestone, and I think I really wish somebody would have given me more of a reality check as to, hey, you're doing the right things. Here's your justification for it. Don't expect to start making a bunch of money or anything like that.
One of the things that I kind of wish I would have been a little bit more prepared for is like having all of like the art and stuff prepared. Because like I was part of like when it first rolled out, like I got into it. So a lot of the features rolled out very slowly because like at first, what was it? We got bits. And then later we got a sub button, and then later we got sub badges. And for the longest time, it was just, the generic sub badge. And then later we got the custom sub badges. So just, if you're working for that, like try to have like some emotes and stuff lined up. I think that would really, really help because, when you get that, a lot of people celebrate with you and, they'll sub to you and stuff. And so it's really nice to have something to offer to those people once you hit that, like, which it won't be, because there's the whole like submit and get approved or denied process, but you want to have that as ready and, be ready to go as soon as you possibly can. Like I was not prepared. Like as soon as all that crap came out, I was like, oh crap, I have nothing made like at all. And it was kind of embarrassing. So I like slapped some like last minute stuff on there, which is like, it works, but I could have done better if I would have actually taken the time to actually prepare for it. So.
Something's definitely better than nothing in a lot of those regards. Even if it's not, great sub badge, great emote or whatever, just something personal. You can throw it together on Paint or something. And, it's better. It is really good to provide your subs for, incentives, whether it be playing with you, whether it be priority to this or that. But the most direct way is their emotes and sub badges. So, yeah, that's definitely a good thing to be prepared for. I still don't have my new emotes made, and I will definitely have all 5 emote slots by the time they're allowed to, so I'm slacking already in that newest update. So, yeah.
So as a follow-up on something MC touched on, I do think that the streaming community needs to do a better job of letting people know that this is not a get rich quick scheme. I think a lot of people get into this as a money-making endeavor. It's one thing if you love it and you want to just have a community and stream, which is really what I'm about. I mean, I have a full-time day job, but I think a lot of people are in here to try and make a quick buck and are really putting some first-class garbage out there.
You and I
garbage. I like it.
You and I touched base on that a little bit on Twitter. I think yesterday, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
I think we had that back and forth where, yeah, I mean, as a whole, a lot of people just shoot it down entirely that don't understand it. But then a lot of people that do understand it sit here and think that you're going to blow up and be just the first name that comes to mind is Ninja, not throwing it. And he worked really hard for it, but he did just blow up at a certain point. And, it's not, there is no quick way to success in this. There's faster ways, but you're not going to hop in here and be making $10,000-$20,000 your second month in.
What? Come on, man. Don't lie to him, bro.
I think you got better chances buying a lottery ticket.
I need those secrets for me, Vel. Don't tell them they can do it.
That's all I got. Thank you.
All right. Appreciate it.
Thanks for calling in. Good questions today.
Yeah.
Radio silence. There we go. All right. Yeah, no.
So we're unfortunately all out of time for today. We like to end the show with you guys just telling us where everybody can find you. Tell us your schedule again without the pet stories and So Miss Hobo, why don't you kick us off?
Okay, well, any social media, just Miss Hoboslayer. It's some people say mshoboslayer, mshoboslayer, whatever. I answer to it all. But Twitter, Discord, Twitch, all that stuff. So if you come to my stream, ask me about some pet store stories. I've got a lot of them, and they're, they're pretty funny. Sometimes.
What a sales pitch. They're pretty good.
They're pretty good. I don't want to brag, but they're pretty good.
Pet store stories, I'll tell you that much.
So, but yeah, there you go. That's where I am. Just Miss Hoboslayer.
Perfect.
Yeah. Off to you, Vel.
I am Veloc_TV on everything. And yeah, I'll be streaming. I stream after this podcast on Fridays, and then morning streams Monday through Thursday with a couple night streams thrown in there. But yeah, that's me.
All right, I'm MemoriiCard for everybody that's not in here watching the stream live. That's all one word with 2 I's instead of a Y. I stream story-based games, retro games, and occasionally some Call of Duty and community stuff sprinkled in there. Find me on Twitch, Twitter, all of that, MemoriiCard. And yeah, I normally stream around afternoon, right when everybody gets out of school and work. So, all right.
Right, else? Yeah. So, no, I think I'm just trying to find out if we have a raid lined up.
Quick, Vel, go live.
Ah! I actually need to.
Okay, well, stay tuned. We will, maybe the boys are working on a raid. I don't know. I don't have control over that. But tune in next week for podcast number 100. Woo! We're joining the 100 Club. I am True Mama. Thank you for joining me today. And we will see you next week. I won't see you next week. Green will be back. But yes, thank you guys for joining us today.